when you're starting any business, you would have to, you should first be very passionate about the business you are starting.
Mm.
You should have this intense passion to solve that problem. You understand? And then that is what keeps you on the days when there is no money yet. You cannot build a sustainable brand out of the sole purpose of just wanting to make money.
You
You understand?
cannot do this. I think that's something to note. You cannot,
Yeah,
you can, like right now, you have to, what you're saying is that you actually have to also look at your motivation to getting into business. Are you trying to do something are you trying to be here for, a long time? That's what you say, that's what you mean by building a sustainable brand. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
not so that people come and then they like your product and then you can't find you again.
yeah.
Okay.
So, so after let me wrap up on ideation. So after ideating, you want to prototype. You want to what ideas do we have? Can we build a small version of it that we can already start with, that we can already put out and test with a few people? You understand?
Yeah.
So the thing with prototyping is you need to you need to make sure it is a very small version and it doesn't cost you so much. You understand? Because when you move out, when you invest so much in something and
Yes.
it doesn't work, you feel already attached to it,
Mm.
and you yourself you can see that kini will work, it does not work, but you're already attached to it. You understand? So that's why in web development, there's so much that we can learn across the board. In web development, they start with a wireframe, right?
Yeah.
They start with a low resolution, you know, start with all of those small things that you are not so attached to. And on that, anything can still change. You get,
Yeah.
when you invest so much in something, I remember listening to Dangote talk when he says when I think it was when they set up the cement factory. They did everything was very fine. And then it was time to start the plant. Nothing was working. you know, they had to call everybody because they had already invested all of their life and everything. And then told them, see, if this thing doesn't work, we are all going home. This is the end of everybody. You understand? So you can actually use prototyping to, help validate your thoughts and your ideas. You understand? That's really the main purpose of prototyping, and then you get in feedback, and then you can then move to the next level, build a very strong product before you then ship to the market. You understand? So
Yeah.
putting this into business terms, sometimes you feel like people have this particular problem, and that you think you have a solution to. You
Yeah.
find out and see from a couple of people um, if these ideas actually resonate with them.
Yeah.
You understand? I hear the talk on if you had asked people would have asked for faster horses, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, True, they would have asked for faster horses because horses is all that they can see.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? Horses is all that they can see until somebody brought machines. You understand?
Mm.
So, sorry. Okay, yeah. So they would have asked for faster horses, right? But through creative ideas, people thought that even machines could do all of this. You understand? And then somebody thought about making the machines easier for every other person to have. You get.
Yeah.
So and they were and okay. So now let's look at Henry Ford. Henry Ford was reluctant to release those vehicles because he wanted to build a perfect product.
Okay.
You had to tell him what we already have. Let us push out. You understand? Let us
Yeah.
push out. And he was able to get so much insight from there that he was able to use to develop and build the product further.
Mm.
Understand? And today we look at how much revolution that has brought.
Yeah.
You understand? We look at how much revolution that has already brought. So that's that on design thinking. So the next is types of innovation. So now this is one area that really matters a lot to us. If you really want to build a sustainable business, you need to be quite innovative. So many times when we say innovative,
Yeah. Innovative is a buzzword that people use a lot nowadays, man, and I'm scared.
People use it a lot. But do we really know what it means to be innovative? Do we really know what it means to come up with creative and uncommon ideas? So right here we have listed 3 different kinds of innovation, and that's market creating innovation,
Okay.
sustaining innovation, and efficiency innovation. Now, much of these were pulled from the book The Prosperity Paradox. If you can look for it, please do. So, what is market creating innovation? A market creating innovation is the kind of innovation that creates an entire industry. Something that nobody is doing before, or something that people are doing, but a particular market is not
Exist for it.
It's not accessible to this particular market. Now,
Yeah.
before Henry Ford pushed out Ford Motors, they were vehicles. They were vehicles, and in fact, that was the major problem he even had to combat. There was so much fight over the fact that he was making vehicles and making them so easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So, Henry Ford looked at a particular market and felt like this product should be accessible to these other people. It shouldn't be left to just the very, very rich only.
Yeah.
And what happened? He created cars that were a lot cheaper than those that were existing.
Mm-hmm.
He faced a whole lot of challenges. In fact, at some point, he had to compete. You understand? He had to compete, having made the fastest car. You understand? Like he had to really, really prove that this car is very, very, very efficient. You understand? And at that time, cars were for the rich only.
Exactly.
But in fact, Ford is actually credited for having created the middle class.
Yeah.
Because it was with the advent of Ford that a lot of people could now afford cars.
Mm-hmm.
Because then before that time, what we had was you are either very rich or you are very poor.
Yeah. At the bottom of the chain.
At that time, that Ford changed that thing. Ford ensured that their own staff are able to afford a Ford car. It was after this that we began to all of this. Everybody is shouting today. They should come and tar our road. They should come and tar our road. Like nobody is tarring your road then because there were no cars. You can look at how much industries have been created.
Yeah.
Look at civil engineering. Look at construction of bridges. Look at several things that have come.
And now we have billboards and co.
Yeah, on roads. You understand?
I can even imagine the sort of what's it called? Further innovation that this idea must have even given for himself, because talking about the fact that he created an entirely different market, which means that he created products that were cheaper than what you normally would obtain, right? At that point in time. So it also meant that he has to think of ways to make sure that those products, the cost of production was also minimal.
Yes, the cost had to be minimal. Yes, because it was creating for a non-consumption market.
Yeah.
Note that word, non-consumption. A lot of times, that is when we talk about market creating innovation. Those are the people that you need to put your eyes on. You understand? You need to think about them. There is a particular product, but there is a large market that would have loved to have this product, but they don't have access to.
Yeah.
Let's look at Indomie in Nigeria. Before Indomie came in, lots of packaged food was not that easily accessible.
Hmm?
Indomie made the product so cheap. Almost anybody.
Hello. Okay, I think I don't know. I'm guessing Bolaji has issues or something. We'll just Okay, is Bolaji? Okay, he's not here yet. He's not here yet. So guys, I hope we're taking notes and getting to understand these things. From my own perspective, I know Bolaji and I've worked with him, and I should be able to say that the things that he's explaining here are not just things that I mean, there are things that I've seen him practice in running Fourth Canvas. So what the bulk of what you know about Fourth Canvas and how it operates, the culture, how the business and the brand itself has been able to grow, was born out of these processes and out of these ideas and these structures that he put in place alongside Victor, his co-founder. And and so I mean, I also believe that as designers, because I'm sure the bulk of the people who have in this room are designers. Some of us have different career choices, which we are still going to talk about later in the day. Some of us are going to likely want to start our own design companies. Some of us are going to want to join another design company, or some of us are going to want to join a proper brand or a business, maybe FMCG or something. And so getting to understand the basis of innovation and design thinking and how we can actually apply to running those businesses is very key. So I think we have Bolaji back now. Bolaji, you're back, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I had a slight internet issue.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, I'm back now. So yeah, where was I?
You were talking about Indomie and how
Oh
they
yeah. So Indomie created an entire market for themselves, made the product a lot more accessible. In fact, around that period when Indomie came into the market, people were very, very skeptical. Like, what's this thing that looks like
warm.
So that was also like, will it sell? Will it not sell? But they were able to create a strong market for themselves. Indomie was able to hack distribution so well that you get to the smallest village, you will find Indomie. You understand? And Indomie is right now a multi-billion-dollar business in Nigeria. You understand? So those are things that we can begin to think about. What market is currently being either unserved or underserved? You understand? We need to think non-consumption. You understand? A lot of businesses today are competing for so little. You get? We are fighting doggedly and sharing the small profits. We are all just struggling around to. And I was looking at some data about the airline industry and how the airline industry is one of the most unprofitable. It looks big on the surface, but the percentage profit they make is so tiny because they are all competing and because
market they probably reach the peak of the market share.
Like all of them are just picking so little. You get? So we need to think. Market creating innovation. So two, sustaining innovation. So sustaining innovation. I would say I just praised Ford now, and I'm going to lash them a bit for something they did poorly. When Ford came out, Ford maintained the black card only. Ford was
maintained what?
Black card.
Okay.
When Ford launched for a long time, they maintained just their black cars. They were only selling black vehicles. Until the Chinese guys began to come into the market. People wanted to have their vehicles look a bit different. They wanted their vehicles to feel. I like this part. I have a car that is that color. You understand? Can I have a car that is that color? And then Toyota came out, with gray, with blue, with
Maybe
what happened?
Ford Canvas alone.
No. So the People began to embrace all of those newer colors, and it took a while before Ford could adjust. But the market had shifted. The market needed some excitement. People needed, it needed to feel a little more sleek. You get so
Yeah.
sustaining innovations are innovations that you come up with. You can imagine a brand launches ice cream, and then imagine them choosing to stay on just one part of ice cream, probably just vanilla. There's strawberry, there's chocolate, there's several things. You understand? We can give people variety. You get so sustaining innovation are actually things that help you to inspire excitement in your brand. You understand? People need to feel cool about using your product. You get, and then these things make it quite difficult for other brands to come and compete with you, because in the first place there is no entry point for them. Okay, when a new brand is coming in, they want to look at, oh, what are the existing brands doing poorly. You understand? But you're covering, all I's are dotted, all T's are properly crossed. You understand? And then the last part, which is efficiency innovation. So when we talk about efficiency innovation is sometimes not only the innovations that you create by yourself, but your ability to adopt innovation. So many times this could be talking about technology. This could be talking about tools that you use. You understand? So, but I would refer to them as we go further in the conversation. In Yoruba, what if we talk about it, would I'll refer to them.
Yeah.
So, on the next slide, so what is a business? A business is an organization or or enterprising entity engaged in a commercial, industrial, or professional service for the primary aim of making profit. Yeah, and that's what a business is. You are doing one thing or the other, whether commercially, industrially, or professionally. You're trying to solve a problem to make profit, because a business is most businesses are more than one person. You understand? And it is profits that you use to sustain business. So all happy companies are different. Like I said about um, creating a business that nobody is doing. There are two questions that we need to ask.
Yeah.
What valuable company is nobody building, and what market is yet to be served? You know, um, um, so when we look at businesses like Facebook when they started, it was a simple idea that nobody was yet, exploring. The internet was there, computers were already made. Um, Much of what would have been, it was just an idea, and one young man thought about building something, and then one day decided to convert it into a full-fledged company. You understand? So we need to think what solutions, what problems are out there that nobody is solving. There are a lot of problems out there that a lot of us have gotten used to, like that has become part of us. Like we are just used to it, and we feel like that is how things should be. You understand? So it calls us to think further. What are those things? What are those? What can we simplify? What beauty can we add to life for these people or to the world? You understand? And that is where a lot of times we are able to come up with new and interesting ideas. I find Tesla as one company that I love so much. When we look at the automobile industry, it's a very, very large industry. And then a whole lot of brands have made so much name for themselves. But one man thought that the future of vehicles will actually be electric. And then he began to, and at that time there were a lot of criticism. A lot of people thought like, he doesn't have an idea that could work. You understand? But this guy really sat down and thought like, yeah, we can actually do something. We can actually build an industry around the use of battery. You understand? And now the future of that industry is such that right now Tesla has over the years developed capacity, and they have proved so well that this thing is possible. You understand? Now, a lot of businesses chose not to go with that line of thought. We have a whole Mercedes who has built quite a large brand on the machinery. They have the best combustion engines, everything is sleek, most exclusive, Range Rover and like, you understand? But somebody, even amidst all of that, still felt like there is still a future that nobody seen. You understand? And then he took advantage of it and has built a brand that everybody is talking about today. And now look at something about it. Look at something about that being different. Now, when a brand chooses to be different, many of the times you end up spending so little on marketing your products because your users will amplify whatever efforts you are making.
Yeah.
We're looking at marketing in the last couple of years in the automobile industry.
So I mean, talking about.
Okay, hello.
Oh, hi, BJ, you're back.
Oh yeah, I'm back. Oh, sorry, I didn't even know network had disconnected.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll just track back a little.
So BJ,
Yeah.
what you're trying to track back, can you, so I mean, we've talked about, you mentioned automobile industry, you mentioned airline industry, and talk about Ford and Benz. I would like you to sort of give illustrations of local businesses, local brands.
Oh, beautiful.
You can actually relate with, because the point is this.
Yeah.
We have the bulk of the people we have around are designers, and they are our guys. Not really our, they are our guys, right? And they, like I was saying the other time when we left, that they are either most likely looking to start their own business. It could be a design business, it could be another venture on the side, or they're going to be working somewhere with another industry or maybe a different brand, a consumer brand, and some of the things. And they would also be able to, they would need to employ some of these thoughts into how they proceed with making their decisions and also influencing. So can we help them in that way? Do you get?
Yeah. Okay. So now, one business that I find very, very innovative is locally. I mean that I hope we have all been watching that Providence Bank. How many of us have been watching
Do
Providence Bank?
do.
Providence Bank is I find one of their products really, really, really innovative. We look at a couple of fintech products now that are being developed. Many of them are being run under, they're being served by Providence Bank. And you are trying to open an account on this product, and then instantly you have an account with Providence Bank that you can easily fund. I opened an account with Requid recently, and then it was so easy for me to fund my account. You understand? Without any stress. Like I have the bank account and it is saved in my bank app. You get so Providence Bank. I hope a lot of us can relate with that. Although I find it sad that not so much of us, not we don't have so many businesses around here who are thinking non-consumption. You understand? We are mostly adopting ideas. So let's look at even GT Bank as well. I would say GT Bank was the first adopter of technology. I mean, when it comes to mobile banking and all of that, they really, really invested so much in it, and I see, and because we can all see, they are reaping the rewards right now. Because GT Bank wasn't one of the main banks. I mean, several years back, but right now they are not just one of the top 5. They are, I think, the top 2. I mean, they and I think Zenith Bank. Understand? So these are really, really innovative solutions, and are really, really innovative solutions that we can all think about and try to identify more in our daily lives, and also amongst us try to create such plans. You understand? So yeah, that's that. All happy companies are different, and that's because they they aren't fighting for. They're not fighting for profit. They aren't sharing their profits around. You understand? Because they are doing things that nobody is thinking makes sense, and that way the market is staying away from that area. You understand? Let's even look at Kuda Bank. You know, Kuda Bank
Yeah.
geared to be fully digital, fully online, fully on your
Yeah.
phone. There is no, and I see they've put in so much structure to ensure that you do not have such issues. The issues that would have made you go to the bank. You understand? So I
Mhm.
find Kuda Bank also quite I'm sure there are a lot of others as well. Just that we may not just be able to look into them right now. So when building a business, let us start from A. First, you need to have, like I mentioned when Ayomide asked about when you start a business, you just want to make money. Money is not enough. Money cannot sustain. Wanting to make money is not enough within. It can't sustain any business. You understand? You need to develop a vision. And not just a vision, a shared vision that everybody agrees with, everybody within your organization agree with. Abraham Maslow asks, the basic question is, what vision do you aspire to? Like, what is that thing that is that you wake up in the morning and you feel like this is this is this is what I want to solve. I look forward to a time when this, and this is happening. Tesla says they are trying to accelerate the world's migration into sustainable energy. You understand? So
Yeah.
that's what a vision does for you. It helps you to continue to dig. Helps you. It's like fuel inside you. You understand? It's like fuel. It continues to drive. It keeps you running. You understand? Your vision is the fundamental reason for the organization's existence. Um, Google says they want to make the world's data more accessible. They want to organize the world's data and make it more accessible. Are they doing that or not? Through everything that we see, you can see that Google is doing that very, very well. Like doing that so well. You understand? Helping to put the world's data together through their search, through the search engine itself. The other day we were talking about SEO optimization. The reason we even need to optimize our site is because we need to make our data more accessible. You understand? What do the engines do? They try to sift through when let's say you're looking for Fort Canvas. How does the engine understand who actually is Fort Canvas? You understand? You need to feed it with the right information. So you get so that's Google sitting down and staying true to that their vision. And we look at that across all of the products that they have built as well. You understand? You know, all things can change, but your vision should remain. You understand? All things change, but your vision should remain. Now, your mission. Every business, as much as you have a vision, you need to have a mission. Your vision can be something that lasts as long as 100 years, and even maybe further or close to. You understand? But you need to have a mission, something that is bold, compelling, and audacious, and has a time frame. Your mission should have a clear time frame, such that once it is achieved, you can then set a new one. You understand? So a lot of designers are here, and you probably have a goal to become undoubtedly the best designer in Nigeria, right? Uh, that's going to be a huge thing for you. You understand? That's going to be a huge thing for you. But how about setting a vision that in the next 3 years, you want to be that person that business. You understand? You want to be that business that that has satisfied all of their clients fully, and everybody is so well impressed. You understand? So because there's there are a lot of unsatisfied clients everywhere. You understand? But That alone is one thing. Hacking that, doing all of the daily A, B, C, D, that helps you to achieve that goal. You understand? What do you need to do for the next like 2 years? A lot of times a mission can mostly shouldn't be more than 5 years maximum. You understand? Shouldn't be more than 5 years, but a mission can last 3 years. A mission can last 4 years. In fact, in some cases, the mission can last a year. You understand? But that's too low sometimes, But make it as bold, compelling, and audacious as possible. You understand? And always ensure that it has a set time frame so that you can move on to the next level. Sometimes your mission is to overcome a particular market. You understand? We'll still address that. So there are types of mission. There's the targeting, there's the one where you're facing a common enemy, there's the role model, there's the internal transformation. You understand? Do you have an aspiration? Do you have an achievement that you want to? Do you want to have? Do you want to get to a particular level where you are getting awards? You want to be nominated for some specific set of awards? You understand? Okay. Once you get that, what next? That's not the end of life. You understand? You have to set a new mission. You understand? But it has to be something that is really, really bold. Like sometimes it looks unachievable. You understand? And it will drive you to push yourself really, really hard. You understand? It has to look like you get, but your mission should be something strong and not so easily achievable, but achievable. You understand? You have to be realistic with yourself. You understand? Yeah, that's that. So so after your vision and after your mission, then you want to go into your strategy. This is where we talk about sustaining innovation. You're going into your strategy. Strategy is simply the basic methodology you intend to apply to attain your company's mission. So you have told yourself, let's say you want to become the number one in the market.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to become the number one in the market. Undoubtedly the number one. Like nobody is contending with you. You understand? How do you get there? How do you get to achieve that? It takes you thinking of these A, B, and C steps, right? You understand? So developing this strategy to achieve that mission is a core part of you designing a strong business, because it's not just one thing to say I want to do this. You get, but how will you get to do it? So most of the time your strategy is like that how. You get, you want to move this thing from A to Z. How do you want to move it? You want to whatever it is, it is that how. How are we going to do it? You get.
Yeah.
So your strategy is simply the basic methodology you intend to apply to attain your company's current mission. And now, many times, when we talk about strategy, sometimes the word can feel so ambiguous. You're thinking of a 30-page document that you present, and it's like, wow. But really, strategy can be as simple as anything, as simple can be. You understand? Strategy a lot of times can be so simple. In fact, many times the reason a lot of strategies don't even get to see the light of day is because they are already too big. It's too big to follow through. You understand? So there are a few processes for developing a strategy. I mean, to developing a strong strategy that helps you to really, really achieve that your vision and your mission. Now, you review and clarify the vision of the company. So if you don't already have a vision, I mean, you have started your business, you don't have a vision, you don't have a mission, you don't have all of those things yet. First sit down. Where are we going to? What are we doing? Company, what do we want to do with it? Where are we driving at? You understand? Like the vision is like your compass. You pick it again and you look at it. You understand? From time to time, you have to be able to look at it. So you review and clarify your company's vision. Do an internal assessment of your company's capabilities. What advantages do you have in the market? Individually, what core strengths do you have? You understand? What are those things that are unique to you? Then you do an external assessment as well of the environment. That you're looking at the market, you're looking at your competitors. You're trying to understand what is out there. Because in strategy, one thing you're trying to do is you are going out to it's like you're going out to war. That's why strategy is mostly used in what's it called? In war. In fact, that's one of the main areas where the word was coined from. You understand? So so you want to understand what are we going out to fight with? What are we going to meet? You understand? What market forces are out there? Are there any specific government regulations that we need to be aware of? You understand?
Yeah.
Are there those things that we need to be aware of? So before you can then move on. You get, so then strategy should set the participation. It should be set. It should be set with the participation of those that are going to execute it. So now, many of the times, a company goes out to so consultancy, help us develop a strategy to achieve A, B, and C. And then those ones come. They go into their office. Probably they take, say, a week or more, depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve. And then they develop strategies for you. Next thing they put into a document and then they give it to you. This is the same thing that happens. I want us to be able to relate to it. This is the same thing that happens in design. I've seen this debate a lot when designers and developers are having issues. I always find them very interesting because I follow them sometimes. Designer designs this, and then it doesn't put into consideration the expertise of the developer that will be developing it. He doesn't know what we need to integrate. He doesn't know how much this or that would cost. You understand? So you need to involve everybody that will be part of that process. Everybody that will be part of getting it done. They actually need to be involved. You understand? And that's why in Fourth Canvas we say it's a partnership. You understand? And when we talk about saying that we partner with our clients, we actually mean it, because most of the projects we do, we actually have to carry them along. When you're developing a brand for them, it's one thing to develop a brand. It's another thing to follow through. I'm sure a lot of designers must have faced this thing of you developed a brand guideline for them, and then you are seeing them doing something else. The identity you just created, they've already stretched it so much, and you are wondering, you can't even recognize if you're the one that did it any longer. You understand? So these are things that answer issues that strategy faces a lot of the time. You understand? So you need to involve the people who will be getting it done. You understand? You need to always involve them. So some basic principles. So like I've already said, your strategy must defend your vision, must leverage on your strengths and unique capabilities. I mean, what you're good at. It should be realistic. It should take into account internal and external constraints. So, did I repeat this page? Funny. Okay. So let's move over to innovation. As George Bernard Shaw says, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. There is no shortage of good ideas. Indeed, the biggest problem in building an innovative organization is not stimulating creativity, because a lot of us are actually creative. The problem is how to nurture the creativity that abounds all around us, and how to get that creativity acted upon and turned into innovation and turned into something. You understand? So this is actually the major challenge. The challenge is not that there are no ideas. There is never, ever, ever a shortage of good ideas. Today alone, I've seen a lot of very, very, very good ideas today slash yes. Look at brands who have been posting their Easter designs. Like it's like brand woke up this year. We are experiencing something different from last year.
The marketing managers are Corona has given to.
Well, maybe people have had more time to think. You understand? So there is always innovation. Like there is never shortage of ideas. You understand? The issue is just that many of us are not actually able to nurture that environment. We're not able to stimulate that creativity and allow it to come above the waters. We have put it down and allowed it to sink. I see a lot of organizations saying innovation is their core value, or innovation is something that they hold dearly to. Yet, somebody suggests that we do this. The first thing you tell the person is that, Sholo Polosha, did you think about it before talking? Do you get me?
Yeah.
Did you think about it before talking? What happens?
The practical example too. Sorry, I'm cutting you.
Yeah, fine.
What you're explaining now is I think I was having a conversation with Tunji, and he was sharing with me how actually GT Bank's current situation is not a mistake. It's not like they didn't stumble there. They didn't just get there. Like they actually give room for they back then. I'm not sure about now, but like
juggle ideas, right?
Yeah, they actually allowed that. Like that was how GT Create was started. That was how Ndani TV was started. Just because were able to allow a normal, it could be an associate, it could be an intern or something working on. I mean, the creative team had enough room. Boom. And of course, I'm sure that meant that the manager, the marketing manager themselves could also talk to the board of directors and then their points
because they are closer to the market.
Yeah.
So
that's what you create the environment that allows
innovation. That environment, you understand? Create that environment. The problem we have is not a lack of ideas or brilliant ideas.
But how do you balance out trying to have this innovative innovation supporting system and structures? How do you balance it out with we can't like I think that one of the things that that is your currency as a business owner is time as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend all day bouncing on ideas and stuff like that, right? So how do you balance that out?
Okay.
And you also don't want to spend all the bouncing ideas. You also don't want to just have an idea that seems so good today, and then because you then go ahead to do your feasibility study and viability study and all that, and then you realize it's not good after all, and then you have to go back to the drawing board and then do it again, and how do you make sure that you hit it one time?
Okay, so one of the things that I would that I will do, or that I do as regarding that is so yes, we need to move fast, and we need to move like well.
Yeah.
So the big thing is you can't always be measuring on every idea that comes, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things you can do is, what is the value of this idea that you already have? How what results does it bring? When a business is making loss and you're thinking of ideas to regain market share, you are not rushing first. Do you get? You have all the time in the world to sit down and bounce off ideas and think of stuff. But when it's not so much that is at stake. Probably much of what you're looking at is solving a small problem. Oh, in fact, you don't even have to involve me. Just, if you think it works, carry on. Because if the benefit is not so high, many of the times as well, not all the times too, the risk as well is quite low.
Sure,
You
sure,
get,
sure, sure.
so you don't have to waste all of your time on ideas that are not so much about that don't bring too much transformation. You understand? That don't affect the business drastically. You understand? So you can easily spend. It's just like when we had the idea of this session.
Yeah.
There was no brainstorming about it. There was nothing like somebody brought up the idea and instantly we developed the web page. And
Mhm.
you understand. That's
Mhm.
not one thing that we need to call the board for.
Mm.
You get me? So many of the times, when you need to vet every idea, in fact, you are creating so much stress in the first place. So it is not every idea that has to go through a very, very deep, you understand, and thorough
Yeah.
process. So let it go through the process. But the
Yeah.
process, the thoroughness is just what will differ. You understand? Because you understand the value that it is bringing. You understand? You understand what is at stake, the risks and the merits. You get.
Yeah. All
So
right.
those are the main things that you need to consider when evaluating ideas and looking at how much should be spent on deliberating on those ideas.
All
You
right.
understand?
All right.
So so a few traits for an innovative company: receptivity to ideas from everywhere. So innovative companies are mostly sensitive and so receptive to ideas from almost everywhere. When we look at Amazon, and I'm sorry, we may have to be using a lot of foreign brands here. Really, the same thing applies to us here. But the issue around here many times is that most businesses around here do not even share any of their corporate. They don't share their stories enough for us to learn from them and be able to, refer to them. You understand that the amazing thought behind their products and services. You understand, and I think we can all do better on that. I mean, so and this is why I will be using products, probably from foreign countries. But the most important thing is let's listen to the main points, you understand, and then find a way to adopt them into our own businesses as well. So receptivity to ideas from everywhere. Um, Amazon says they are customer obsessed. You know what that means? I mean, you have any idea what that means? They say they are customer obsessed. What it
Uh,
means, Amazon does not identify any competitor.
mhm.
Like they don't know if there's any other person doing what they do. All they are
Mm.
just doing is they are serving their customers.
Mm.
When they begin to spot new interests in their customers, what did they started with books, but today they sell almost anything. You
Mm.
understand? They began to watch their customers and look at things that their customers need, areas where they can be of more value to their customers, and that has kept them more relevant for several years. You understand? And today you look at Amazon and you still look at Amazon with the same eye you used to look at a normal startup, because they are innovating rapidly. You
Yeah.
understand? They are
Yeah.
seeking insights from all of their customers, and these are things that we need to keep doing. You understand? I understand that you are not in business to compete with anybody. When you're looking at the next person always, it's just like in exam. If you've ever cheated in the exam, even if the person is writing rubbish, what do you do? You
Yes.
write to the person. Do you get?
Yeah.
So um look at your customers. Pick insights from them. Look at what they want, because they are the ones that keep you in business. They are the ones that determine whether your business is relevant or not. You
Mm.
understand? So you want to pick as much insight as possible from your customers. You want to look at their needs. You understand? So you should be able to pick insights from both in and outside. And now this goes to even those that are outside of your customers. Insights can come from almost anywhere. You understand? Even now, on the next level, you yourself, you need to use your own product.
Mm.
You need to use your own product. Because the more you use your own product, the more you understand the process. So now, some time ago, Victor and I were working on something. And then we began to look at how we kept on with editing and editing. We're working on a document and we kept on editing and re-editing, and much of these edits were coming after the design had been done. Now I know the designers can relate to this. There's one thing designers hate. After designing a document, the person is now telling you that, no, change this to this. And you're like, are you not the one that wrote it like that and gave me? Didn't you think about it before you said it? Or before you wrote it and gave me? You understand? But we know that these things, it's all an iterative process. You understand? So now that gave us a good dose of reality that these things are actually building. When you work with people who are building is actually like there's something with building with your hands, which I think that was David Kelly was talking about. When we're children and we will be playing with sand to mold houses or to mold different things, we would as we are building, we see that something is not working, and then you change it, you get something else. You understand? You're not giving yourself that mental pressure of is it working or not. You're not trying to be too so that I don't have to come back to it. You're just giving it, you're just pouring yourself into it and building. As it works, you change again. As it works, as if it doesn't work, you try another means. You understand? There's that beautiful thing with building like a child. A child doesn't think whether what people will say you understand about his ideas. He just doing it. That's why a child can ask you questions that you will find as being dumb. You understand? He's a child. You understand? So these are things that we can adopt. You understand? And okay, so there is also the part of experimentation and mistakes. Every innovative company makes mistakes. You cannot avoid it. You will make mistakes. But that is why in talking about the design thinking methodology earlier, as you are building, as you are innovating, validate your innovations. Take it through that process to confirm that what you are working on is market fit. You understand? And it resonates with the audience that you're trying to build for. You understand? So, so the best you can do as an innovative business is to reduce the risks involved by building a small resolution, testing a small market. Do you know that there are some versions of Facebook that are currently live, but not everybody is experiencing them? Because they are testing with a small audience and trying to see what their reaction to it will be. Before the whole world sees it, I'm like, hey, what's this? Do you get what I'm saying? Before we all come for them. You understand? Yeah, thank you, Akin. Better version. You get, so there are different versions of several, and that is how your company should be as well. You should be able to innovate, allow for innovation. You understand? And on the way to that, you will make mistakes. You get, you're going to do a lot of things that doesn't connect. You understand? And so the thing with doing a better testing, or testing with a smaller audience, is that if it goes wrong, you can easily turn back without losing your ego, without losing your pride. You understand? Because I know a lot of us are so concerned about it. So creative confidence across the board. So what is creative confidence? Creative confidence is to test the level of creative confidence of an organization. You need to go to anybody. Look at how people, even right from the gate man, does it suggest ideas for how things could be done better? Your receptionists, are they able to suggest ideas? Once a specific set of people in your organization are already feeling like, no, it's these ones that are the creative ones, it means you are already stifling creativity even to some extent. People should have the confidence to be able to talk and express ideas that come to their heads. People should be able to talk and know that yes, this idea will be given life. It will be given an opportunity to express itself, to validate itself. And then what happens? The what happens? Whatever wins. Sorry, say is my presentation still on the screen?
Yeah, you are. Don't worry.
Okay, good. So people are able to talk and share thoughts because there's this thing with I find when it's one thing to be creative as an individual, but it is another thing to be creative as a group. And trust me, it is very, very hard. And that is why you need to create an environment that exhibits all of these traits. Now, I like to use the batteries as an example to depict creativity. When you connect several batteries together, what happens? It increases the overall ability of that battery to produce more power, right?
Yeah.
And then, but in the process of connecting them, somebody's head is on another person's yash.
Yeah, positive and negative.
But yeah, you understand? And that is how the creative process is. We need to accept that some people will bring out some things that you just don't agree with. But you don't scold them. You don't crucify them. You don't nail them. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So autonomy and decentralization. You need to give people, that ability to. Everything does not always have to come from the board. Do you get?
Yeah.
And that's one major reason that a lot of big businesses have today. That's one major issue that a lot of them have today. Ideas have to always come from the top. And the board is very, very limited. It's just a few people determining the fate of such a large organization. And now when we look at what Mark Zuckerberg was saying about Facebook having about 10,000 versions of the product live at every point in time. Some are only used internally, you understand, while it is still going through a whole lot of process.
Yeah.
What is happening? People have an idea that we can actually do this. I could almost say that the most innovative, the major area where we could give Mark Zuckerberg major credit is in starting the company. But I want to tell you that every other innovation, every other tweak, every other update that you have seen, many of the times it's possible you never even heard of it. You get? It's possible you never even heard of it. Because you can imagine how much bureaucracy is. Bureaucracy is like weight that holds organizations back. You started a company with very small, very, very innovative, grew, hired more people, grew further, grew, hired more people, you began to grow big and you have more managers and a lot of things are coming up. And then what happens next? The next thing, you begin to attract risk averse and stability conscious people. A lot of people on the board actually, all they are just looking for is they want to retain shareholder value. They want to keep the company profitable. You understand? So they don't ever want to go wrong.
Yeah.
You understand? So you begin to attract risk averse and stability conscious people. You begin to install bureaucracy. The next thing.
But okay, let me let you go ahead and then.
The next thing, the highly innovative people have to leave because the ideas that they share are no longer seeing the light of day. You understand? So you need to decentralize. You need to give people the power and the ability to tweak, the power and the ability to do innovative things. Everything doesn't always have to come to the board. You don't have to make every decision for for the business, but what should you ensure that everybody understands clearly your company's vision, your company's mission. Everybody aligns clearly with your values. Everybody understands what the strategy is. It's just like you send soldiers to war. You have given them a mission. You have given them what to go and do. You've given them the gadgets that they need. But you are not in the forefront with them.
Mm.
You need to give them that ability to be able to make spontaneous decisions on their own as well, because they are the ones on the front line.
Mm.
You understand? And that is why we see that companies like Google till today have been able to adapt clearly to political situations and everything going on globally. You understand? Very, very, very conveniently, because they have chosen to remain small. I could almost say that the office in Nigeria, well, I don't really know that much about Facebook, you understand? I mean, about Google, but I could say clearly that if they find any new opportunities and insights that they could leverage in the Nigerian market, Google will be very, very speedily be able to adopt and implement. You understand? And that is the thing with giving people autonomy and decentralizing power in your organization. So yeah, I am there. You want to say something?
No, I want you to go ahead and then wrap up, and then we'll come back to it.
Oh, okay, cool. So there's also the part of under innovation and strategy, idea pull or push. So there's one thing that a lot of us do, a lot of business people are very, very guilty of. You see somebody doing, or you see a business or your competitor is doing something, you feel it makes sense, and then the next thing you copy because you don't know why. You copy just because you feel like, oh, that's what they are doing. It's just like, you remember that recently that buzz around businesses when everybody was like, you need to have bean bags in your office, you need to have this, you need to have that, your office should be lively and all of that. Now, the thing is not about your office looking lively. Your office looking lively is actually born out of something else, which is freedom. You have given people freedom. If you put it, and we try to attach those things to creativity a lot of times. If you put all the big bags, all of the downfall inside your office, all of the, if you like, turn your office to Emirates Stadium or whatever it is, and you are not allowing and creating an environment of freedom, nothing will come out of it. Nothing will come out of it. So it is not about those things. Those things are just, so organizations want their people to be free. They want people to live their best lives. They want people to feel comfortable. You understand? And these things are some of the things that they began to do. You understand? So these are things that we need to. So the thing around idea pull and idea push is we begin to. So what companies do is they are pushing those things. They are pushing bean bags into the office. They are pushing this. They are pushing that into the office. You understand? But those things will not make any difference if you don't create an environment for freedom. Do you get? It's just like, even let's use government for example. You are creating this poverty alleviation program, and you are giving people things that they don't need in the name of trying to alleviate. What happens? At the end of the day, you have given them, but has it taken them out of the poverty? No. You understand? Has it taken them out of that poverty? No. They are still experiencing that same thing. So as a business, you need to look at things that you need, validate them well. You understand? Before you do not enforce things that you find innovative on your people. No two businesses are the same thing. So understand what your own business needs. You understand? Understand what your own product needs. Because your competitor has integrated a new feature into their app or software, doesn't mean you should also go and do the same thing. You get me? because we are solving different problems. I'm not running their race. You get. But if you find out that it is an important feature based on your customers and you understand it very, very clearly, oh, fine. But if not, please do not push things. Instead, pull what is needed. Do not force things on people. Adopt what is needed. So, operating excellence. This part we may be talking of, we should connect this part to effectiveness, innovation. I should be wrapping up this very soon. I mean, I'm almost done. So, building a great company is analogous to creating a new route up a mountain. All the elements discussed are by far necessary. However, these are other crucial elements. If you do not execute the small details, like tying your knots right, paying attention to your hands and feet, you might end up there. So you can imagine you want to climb a mountain. And really, that is what a business is like. You understand? You know, you want to climb a mountain. You need to look at all of the small details, that will enable you to climb effectively. You need to tie your knots right. You need to pay attention to your hands and your feet. That's if you were trying to climb a mountain. But now, in the case of businesses, you know, a lot of other things that then have to be considered. You know, because if you don't, the business might just die as well. You understand? You know, in that case, you want to consider hiring the right people. Who do you build with? Do you need new set of partners? Who are you going to have to work with? You understand? So these are different things that you need to look at and understand. You need to hire the very, very right people, incorporate them into the system, because what you are building, you understand that it is a complex system. You understand? It's a complex system. It is not just you. Once we have more than one person in an entity, it begins to get complex. It begins to get more complicated. You understand? So you want to get them and run them through all of your visions and where you are taking the business to. You need to get them in sync, because you will not be there all the time to correct them, but you need to instill the company OS in them. You understand? You need to instill the operating system in them, so that they will begin to look at, they will only install apps that can work on that operating system. They won't do things that are out of your company's values. You understand? Everybody doesn't just look like they are running several races. You know, you look at a company as about 100,000 staff. How come 100,000 people are working in one direction? You understand?
Yeah.
So these are things that you need to look at as you hire new people into your organization. You need to indoctrinate them. You understand? You need to teach them properly. You need to groom them. You need to align them to your goals. You understand? And the most important thing, in fact, before all of that, is not just hiring people to indoctrinate into this thing. First, look out for people who share the same values. People who believe in the company's journey. Don't get somebody that doesn't believe in that journey and now start trying to bend them. It won't work. That one itself will now be another journey for you again. You understand? That one itself will become another journey for you. So these are things that you need to consider as you build your brand. Align with the right partners. If you need anybody, so let's imagine you produce some products. Who are you hiring? What organization are you consulting?
Yeah.
And are you hiring the very, very best hands, or you are trying to save money? They won't want to put you. But are you using incapable hands? Do you get? So these are specific things that you need to look at on a daily basis. understand that things we need to look at on a very, very, very daily basis. And those are the things that are extremely important for you. You understand? So yeah, and then adopt as much tools as you need. We're in a digital age right now. There are so many things that you don't have to build from the ground up. You understand? There are so many things that you can already begin to adopt. Somebody has built this, somebody has built that. You understand? I'm sure even web developers understand this a lot more these days. Like there are so many products that you can just integrate rather than hire an entire company of several developers, except you are building something that has not been built before. You understand? Populate this, integrate that, and that is how a business should function. Um, Hire a legal firm to handle your legal stuff. You are not a lawyer. Eh? Get a proper firm to be behind you. Um, your business is so. I'm probably talking to more of designers. Your business is design. Face design. Let somebody handle your accounting for you. You understand? Let somebody do all of that. Get the right partners. Get people who are very good at what they do. You understand? To do your
Yeah.
thing. And ensure also that these people align with your values as well as an organization. You get, for
Yeah.
example, you don't want to hire somebody to handle maybe social media or something for you, and then he's yarning some things that he's yarning some things that
You don't agree with
you don't agree with. You understand?
because
So that's things that you
your
that you need to
customer.
look at. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think we should already begin to, you know, drop our questions. I mean, this brings me
Awesome.
to
Awesome.
the end of
Thank
this.
you very much, Bolaji. So guys, I'm sure we've had a whole taking from this conversation, from the things that Bolaji has mentioned, right? Um, can you please start dropping your questions? Can you please start dropping your questions? And we just have them answered. And then, I mean, we went like almost 2 hours of talk now. So I'm sure we probably have some things that we have in mind to request or to understand. So let's just drop questions. And then Bolaji will be here to answer. Bolaji, can you go one or two more slides? I think I wanted to point out something earlier.
Okay.
While we're waiting for keep going. Keep going backwards. I'll find it now. I think before this one. Yeah. So where you talking about? Go back now. Autonomy and decentralization.
Okay. Yeah.
While I'm waiting for your questions, I want to ask this quickly. You talked about the fact that you need to have you maybe not have a small team. I'm not sure you meant making sure that you always have a small team, but the point is that your business would, I mean, you and I would agree that the purpose for me starting a business is that I want it to grow, right? While I'm trying to serve a purpose, while I'm trying to solve,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be able to scale as well,
Yeah.
answer the same problems in another country,
Yeah.
right? With the same product or with the same brand. And that means that it is inevitable that my business will grow. It's inevitable that my company will grow and I'll hire more hands and I would have more structures in place and I'll have
Yeah.
HR person. You said it yourself to get my HR, to get my lawyer, to get my accountant. So which means I have different kinds of departments in the company most likely, right? Now,
Yes.
how do you at that level
Yes.
ensure that the vision of the company is communicated, stays communicated, despite the different, I wouldn't want to call it silos, maybe like cells or different units that make up the company. Because at that point, I mean, so when you say, for example, that you believe that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't always have to have an idea of all the going on at Facebook anymore
Yeah.
right now. But in my head, I'm how about the vision of the company? How about why he started in the first place? Like, how do we enact and keep that running?
How do we?
Like, how do we enact and keep and make sure that the vision of the company is like lived throughout the entire system or throughout the entire different units that we have.
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand
So
my?
yeah, I think I do. I think I do. So first, um, as maybe a founder or a business owner, one of the first things you do is you hire the very right people. You understand? And after all of that, you want to bring them deeply into the company's culture. Let them understand what this company stands for, who we are, what we do, and all of those things. Because that is how they get to represent you very well, especially when you're an organization that wants to scale fast. You understand? It's important that people know what we are doing here. You understand? If they don't know all of that, as the company grows, what you are growing into, if you are growing into a problem, the cancer that is growing, not a
Yeah,
company. You understand? So
yeah,
you want to adopt them well into the culture, train them, let them understand what their own objectives are, what role they play specifically in the organization. You understand? You measure and see that everything is going well with them. You understand?
yeah,
um, on the product itself, you want to focus on your product as well. Ensure that your product, you'll always have a product team, people who are majorly concerned about your service or your product, whatever it is that you are developing. You understand? Because like that's like the major. That's why we're all here. You understand?
yeah,
You'll have that as well. You'll have your marketing team as well, which has to be solid. You know, and they all have to project the values of the company as well. So there are several areas. I mean, several areas through which we have to pay attention to. HR market aside the product itself, HR marketing, operations, several things, and you need to ensure that all I's are properly dotted across board. So the thing is, when you have properly trained everybody, when you have properly
mm-hmm.
trained them in the process of hiring, what happens is that what you have given them is that you have fueled them, and then everybody can now, with that fuel, know which route to take. You understand? Remember what I said about your vision being like a compass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You understand? When you fuel the vehicle and you equip it with a compass as well, everybody already knows where to go. If somehow you lose yourself and you find yourself in the desert, you pick your compass again and you find yourself back. You get
yeah,
you find
yeah.
yourself back, but the thing is, you yourself would always have to be there to correct them.
All right.
When you need to correct them out of love. You understand? Not correcting like curious, whereby where did I even see you from?
All right. Thank you very much, BJ. So, I think first question here for you says, I need a simple understanding of consumer science. Okay, is that part of what we're talking about today? I mean, I'm not sure BJ mentioned anything like that, did he?
Whoever drove that question might have to break it down a little more so I can understand what I mean.
Who is
Yeah.
muting me? You these people. Who is muting? Muting myself. Like, yeah, I should be careful though. So okay, so um let me see. So the next question. Person says you should follow Ashokweju, boss.
Okay.
I don't know. So he says you should show more light, throw more light on bootstrapping for startups. And then he's also saying, what is your take on increasing capacity to meet the demands of the business from projects or leads to one? By this, I mean having a team to work for or with you. I think we should take for the first one. Can you throw more light on bootstrapping for startups?
Okay. So bootstrapping is quite an interesting one. It's one of those areas that I don't take a side on. Some people ask, should we bootstrap or should we raise funds? Hold on, sorry.
All right.
Hold on, I'm coming to this. Okay. So bootstrapping is quite an interesting one, and it's one area that a lot of businesses around here um, do mostly because we don't have that much access to funds. You understand? So you're bootstrapping your startup, you would want to. Bootstrapping actually has to involve a lot of efficiency. You understand? I wish I could see that question so I could attend to all of the individual, um, all of the individual. Can somebody help me paste it and copy it and paste it again so I can see it in the comment
Okay.
section?
It's actually a very long one, so I'll just do it for
Okay.
you now. There you go.
Okay.
Say now.
More light on bootstrapping for startups. Okay. Also, what's your take on increasing capacity? Yeah. So bootstrapping is quite a delicate um, area. A lot of businesses die um, very very early sometimes because they don't even take funds that were available to them. You understand? But bootstrapping is cool. I don't take any stand on whether to do that or seek external um, aid. You understand? But if you're bootstrapping, you need to maintain maximum efficiency, both of funds and of personnel as well. You understand? That's much of what I can. Well, that's much of what I can tell you. That so also, what's your take on increasing capacity to meet demand of the business and projection? By this, I mean having a team to work for or with you. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is really cool. The thing is, while you are bootstrapping, actually, talking about being efficient, you can't really hire people for work that is not in existence yet. You can't hire people for projects that you don't already have. So um, so the main thing is, I think if you want to take that route, you probably need to build a community of partners. You understand? Build a community of partners, people who trust you, who believe in what you're doing as well, and people who share similar values with you. Very, very important. You understand? Who can always join you when you have projects that are beyond the capacity of your existing team. You understand? So basically that's it. You know, I don't expect you to hire people for for a demand that is not in existence. You understand? I don't expect you to do that. So that's what I think, and I think it's a great one actually. So just hire people who share similar values with you, people who have a good level of integrity and are trustworthy. You understand? They won't bastardize your work because sometimes this form of hiring has to be done in from two. Okay, so you need to have trusted hands that you can fall on at any point in time. You understand?
Yeah.
So, so do you
Right.
think this is smart and safe? Do you think it is smart and safe to push out proposals and bids from projects when you really do not have a team that will be able to handle and deliver on this project in the event that you win the bid? Okay. So I like this question. Um, so you need to. Okay, so it's fine actually if first you as the business owner and founder you have some level of capacity in that line. But if you have none, it is a very, very, very risky one. You understand? It is a very, very risky one if you yourself don't have capacity. You understand? So let's imagine you are a designer and you are pushing for a bid to undo an entire rebrand, which includes the communication of the rebrand, launching of campaigns, the brand activation across several, both digital and traditional media and all of that, and you don't have that capacity yet. It can be a very, very risky one. Although if you have the right partners whom you have tested and probably worked with before, and you understand the way they do things, you understand, they find one. But if you do not, please, 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 do not go there.
All right. Thank you, Bolaji. The next one is a comment, and that's from Justice. And it just says that in terms of creating an atmosphere where everyone is free to speak and may speak up their ideas, there is an uncommon truth. If one person has an uncommon idea, there is a
Yes.
strong probability that at least 1 million other persons would agree with that idea. So no
Yes.
idea is worthless until you
Yeah.
prototype it. That's my contribution. Awesome. Thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you. Thank you. So I can see a question from Timmy.
Okay.
From Timmy. He says, what books
What books and movie will you recommend?
do I recommend for us? Okay, that have a huge impact. Wow. We're
By the way,
talking about,
this is a book, it's a library, it's a working library.
who is that? Shitting me, right?
You now.
Ah, lol. Okay, so if you're going into business, please, um, Beyond Entrepreneurship by James C. Collins is a very, very important book that you should buy. Please ensure you get it. 80/20 Principle is one book that I read that really gave me so much peace because it told me that I was doing more. It showed me how I was just scattering efforts around and getting so little results. So since I read that book, I've had a better life and I've had a more productive life actually. I mean, I have done less since I read that book and I have.
You wanted to kill us with 80/20 that year.
You said? I didn't hear you.
I said you wanted to kill us with 80/20 that year. Okwe can
As
testify.
in, it was like I just eat gold. Yeah. So we have that, and we have Good to Great. Please get Good to Great as well. It was written by Jim Collins. It's an amazing book. It will run you through how to build a successful and enduring business. You understand? Um, so yes, then one other book that really helped to shape my mind was this book, Outliers. I love
Okay.
that. It's not so much about business per se, but a lot of the insights from that book really helped my thinking. You understand? So that's a very, very, very good one. Then, for the purpose of this presentation, some of the books that I referred to, or a major book that I referred to, is the Prosperity Paradox. If you are really curious about about um, about nation building, you should read that book as well. A lot of the thoughts from it on innovation um, are really, really valuable and they're applicable to almost anything. You understand? So I would suggest those three books. Then there is one more, dude. There's one more. There's one more. I think Victor might have mentioned that one. That's Delivering Happiness by Tony Shea.
Hmm.
Yeah, Delivering Happiness by Tony Shea. It's
All right. How about movies?
okay. Movies. That's a tough one. Actually, that's going to be a tough one.
The founder.
Much of what I watch, I actually mostly watch action movies.
Okay. All right,
I
guys.
mostly watch
Thank you
action
very much. Okay, last book you talked about was Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, right?
And then Tony Shea, Delivering Happiness.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for today's session. Thank you very much, Bolaji. I really appreciate the thoughts, and I'm sure and I hope that people were able to just out as much value as they could get from it and would be able to also apply it to their businesses and apply it to how they also help other people get better with their own businesses.